Boom, we're on. Back
Cool.
live in the tube. It says live, but hold on. We're gonna see if it's going live on the screen there. If there's viewers before we start. Okay, yeah, looks like it.
Can people hear me and see me? Still, the screen's not switching.
It's still not switching, I think.
Mm,
Maybe there needs to be someone active on the panel for the 5 minutes thing to work. No, it did work. I was able to come back rocking, but I can work. He said he can see you now.
What's that? Should I
What's the
talk?
rasclat is going on with this technology? I know it's crazy, people. I know,
Brother,
but
should I put some headphones in? Do you think it's anything to do with headphones?
I don't know. But it would be good
Let
that
me try.
it would be good that we see you, we hear you, but it would be nice that we see you. Le?
1 sec. Let's
I
try.
know they hear you, but still, it's
1 second.
oh, screen is flipping between you both now.
Is it?
That's what Rockin said. Me here, it doesn't. Huh? Go ahead, speak now.
Yeah, yeah. 1 2 check 1 2. The
It's
screen's
good
not.
now. It's good
It's good.
now.
Cool.
Okay, Bo. Finally, we got it now. You guys are good to go. Good. Finally, now we can crank up the viewers. Now we're gonna stay with that link. It's Janik, your host. I'm happy that it's working. Finally, we got it to work. No more issues with the Google Hangout. That thing is driving me nuts, man.
Cool, brother. So we're
Terrible.
good to go, yeah?
Yeah, we're good to go. So that's it, Mehmet. We maybe we're not gonna go back on everything we have said, but I just want to let people know now. I for the ones that just starting to watch, maybe there's not much that just start to watch. The same people were there from before, but that's it. I wanted to ask you. My question to you was next was the you go back 25, 30 years ago, okay? The music, the idea of making music was necessarily to go into a studio and record with instruments and everything. Today, it has changed a lot. The face of how we make music and everything has changed a lot. So, it's much easier today to just do it from your home. I'm sure you can do this all from your house. Like, how do you proceed when you make your beats? Do you have several instruments around you, or you just a laptop and a few things?
1 sec. Basically, I just plug this into my computer, and you can make drum patterns. You can play melodies. All you need is a keyboard, basically, and a PC, and you're good to go. If you want to just make beats, but
Wow.
obviously you can get other like there's other like MPCs where like I think it's called Machine or Akai, and you can connect that up to your laptop. There's so many different ways, but to be honest, when it comes to producing, I used to do it more for fun. I got a couple of tunes where like I've done and they're on iTunes, which I did for artists and stuff. But I would say, if I'll be honest, I think I'm better at writing than making beats.
Yeah, yeah. And when you decide to make a song or something like that, like what's your do you follow always the same process? Like you put down
Um,
your beats, your lyrics, your chorus, and like how do you manage all this?
it's weird. It can be so many. It could be like I could just watch something and I could do a tune about that, or it could be just say I play an instrumental and the name of the instrumental is called, just this is an example, Apocalypse. Then I would start my first line off with that lyric and then it will just lead on from that. Or sometimes I have concepts where I'll try and be a bit more intricate and clever, like where, like, I don't know, you heard my tune Mary Jane, didn't you?
Yeah, yeah. I
I'm
was
talking
gonna.
about Mary Jane, but it's like I'm talking about a girl at the same time. So it's like got a double meaning. Do you get what I mean? So I'll try concept tracks like that. It just all depends, man. It's just a bit of a spur of the moment thing. I don't always necessarily plan it, unless the only time I really plan it is if I'm featuring on someone else's track and they say, "Can you write for this track?" Then I'll just start writing. But usually it's a bit more of a spontaneous thing where I hear a beat and it might give me a certain thought and I'll write to it, or a word, or I've watched something. There's no set process, but usually I write the beat of some sort.
You know what I find? I find that mostly it's the artists like you, okay, the small, not the small one. I don't mean small big, but I mean the ones that are doing that like really for the passion, and that the ones that doesn't have really much a name in made yet, like in you're not all over, like in
Yeah,
you know
of
what I
course.
mean? You know what I mean? Like I don't mean I don't want to make you feel small. That's not what I want to mean.
I totally understand what you're
But
saying,
you know what
brother.
I mean. You're not like mainstream. Not everybody knows D.V.G. about. That's why we're doing
Of
this
course.
afternoon. But I don't want to make you feel small in any way. This is not my goal. That's why I was trying a way to avoid that. But
It's
you
all
know what I mean. But on that, what I find with guys like you is that you're putting so much passion, so much love in what you do, that now also what's happening is you're becoming so creative with your music, because on that mixtape there's some massive tracks, man. The lyrics in there, and I'm gonna go through it with you. I picked a few ones there,
yeah,
and we're gonna talk about it. But there's massive. It's I was totally speechless when I heard that. When I started to heard the lyrics and everything. So what I find is that now also probably you can sense that you too, is that sometimes big guys they have their name already made, will come and check your stuff and be inspired by your work and even copy your thing sometime. So because for them it's easier to go copy someone that is very creative, someone that, because when your name is already made and this that when you're already making it, you tend to become a bit more lazy, because
yeah,
anything that you will present to your fans, they will probably like it anyway.
yeah, yeah,
So
yeah.
it's just a matter of having content. At one point when you have the name, you just want to associate the content. But when you're an artist like you want to really put the love and all the passion into it, and you become very creative. This is what I see from artists like you. And into the reggae music, the same thing. And then
Yeah,
I see other big guys coming to take your stuff and then not necessarily copy it word for word, doing like the whole inspiration comes from you guys.
yeah.
Do you sense that too?
Um, at the moment, not really, but I don't know, man. I'll just do me, man. And if someone's inspired by me, I see that as a good thing. But at the same time, I'd want them to come with their own style and be a bit more original. But it's like me, like when I write, for example, like all my new stuff, like it's literally the stuff I'm writing is like syncretism, like all the stuff I've learned from like Santos and all the people I watch. It's like, so I'm not copying Santos. I'm just passing on his message in my way, relating to me. Do you get what I mean?
Yeah.
So we're always inspired by other people. I don't know if you know the quote, "No idea is original." We're always inspired by something, and they say there's nothing new under the sun.
Yeah.
It's just we're inspired by each other, and I think that's a beautiful thing. So if someone's inspired by me, that's great. But if they're using my content for them and going big, then I wouldn't like that. Do you get what I mean?
But that's it. And sometimes it's just for also, like I'm talking about people that, like if you take my content and you do something with it in a conscious way, in a conscious manner, no problem. But
Exactly.
But it's like if it becomes in an unconscious matter, this is where I have problem with it. Like if you either twist my words or stuff like that, this is where we have problems. But if it's just to like if that's what it's all about, inspiring each other. So for sure, I wouldn't have a problem also. But I'm talking more about people that are already making it, and all they need is content, so they don't want to like because to be creative you need to focus, you need to canalize your energy, you need to starve your distractions, and often when you get to a certain standard, a certain fame, you get money from it, so money comes more distractions, so tends to become less creative and go get stuff a little bit more easy, and I think that's in the nature of everybody. It's a demon probably inside
Yeah,
that we have.
definitely.
Go ahead.
Yeah, yeah, you can do like. It's weird though. I mean, I think it all depends on everyone's personality as well. Like in terms of like how they are. Like for me, going back to astrology again. See, I'm a Scorpio. Scorpios are water sign, which they're very emotional. So, and they like to dig deep into things. They don't like to look at things on the surface. They like to, like, when like Scorpios tell you something, they won't tell you just one little thing. They want to tell you the whole thing so you can really feel what we're trying to tell you. And I think that's where kind of the conscious lyrics comes. It's not like I'm not trying to be conscious. I think it's just the way I am as a person. Do you get what I mean? I didn't aim to be like that. It's just that's what come out of me, and that's the vibe I'm on, basically. So it's weird. Like I'm very fussy when it comes to like beats and stuff. I can't write to just any beat. I have to really feel the vibration of the beat. It might be dark, it might be light. It just all depends on your mood as well, man. And I find that as well with me. Like we talked about it on my show with like, we're talking about pain is necessary and stuff like that. I find that a lot of my deepest lyrics come when I am going through some kind of not depression, but like going through a little patch where I'm not feeling so good or I've got a few things on my mind. That's when I write my more emotional raps. But I feel that when I'm in a like good, like positive mood, I write clever, scientific. It all depends on the time
And you can feel it too in your song, and I suggest to everybody listening to this video to take time, take 10 minutes, just 10 minutes, listen to a couple songs, pick them random, go on. I just put the link in the chat and I'll put it in the description again, and just take time to go listen to his lyrics. You can feel me, what I felt like a guy, that was walking through the shadow of death with his armor, and the guy like very ready to fight Babylon, man. The heavy lyrics and heavy voice, and like you feel the boldness in there. This is what I loved about your music.
yeah, man. That's see again. Um, my outer appearance as a person and the way I am in public and just in general, I'm quite upbeat, bubbly. Just I try and be positive, which is in my nature as well. But like, in my birth chart, Mars is in my third house, and the third house is to do with communication. So maybe that's where my aggression comes out when I communicate and write, because it's a very martial way of writing. I write quite aggressively, although I don't speak aggressively in public and stuff. When it comes to my art forms and my feelings, I project that Mars energy, should I say, and I think that's also where that fight the Babylon, that I always like to stick up for the underdog. Do you get what I mean? I
Yeah,
don't
yeah,
like
yeah.
bullies,
I get it.
basically. So that's where that passion comes from.
But that's where we need to come from too, is with passion and love. And the moment you start doing something, you have to find something that you can do every day with a smile on your face without being paid. What is that? What is that? You have found it. I have found it. You have created that mixtape. It's mostly out of passion, out of love, and we can feel it too in the lyrics. And there's a few songs in there that really catch my ear. The one, first of all, D.V.G, State of Mind. Tell
Okay,
me, tell me about that song. Tell me.
D.V.G State of Mind is just, it's kind of a battle style track where there's no concept to the track. It's just me just spitting lyrics and bars, but at the same time I'm teaching you stuff. It's just pure knowledge basically. It's just bullets of knowledge just coming at you. That's all that track's about. Just, but at the same time relating it to myself. Do you get what I'm saying? So that's what D.V.G. It's just like literally the track speaks for itself. D.V.G State of Mind. I'm just showing you what I'm all about in that track in
That's
a
it.
raw way rather than in a way where it's a verse then a hook. It's not so planned track. It's just a beat and I'm just going for it. It's just one of them ones basically. So D.V.G. That's one of the. I think that's like the second track I ever wrote.
Oh
D.V.G.
yeah.
Satan. Yeah.
And if people really give attention to listening to it in a conscious way too, and I love the your conscious mind title. You have to listen to it with the conscious mind, and you will pick up. He's giving a lot of teaching. Like I was like, wow. And even in one song, I think you have Santos Bonacci talking in there.
Yeah, that tune is called Human Sacrifice, and that's featuring two of my very good brothers, Johnny Data and another rapper called Ray Vendetta, who's from the Triple Darkness crew, and they are amazing rappers, and it was a big privilege for them to feature on my first mixtape. It was a big privilege for them to accept to do it. Do you get what I mean? And basically, what that track is about is how we're living in a society where they're sacrificing humans for greed and for power and for wealth. And the bit where I used Santos's bit at the end was where he talks about how like the elites have a connection with like a supposed subterranean race, which is in the middle of the earth that comes from the North Pole, and they give us technology. This is why there was a rise of technology at the beginning of the century and the First and Second World Wars, whereas before that it was a bit slow. But then this last 100 years, all of a sudden, we've just had a major like explosion in technology, and it's also what we touched up on in our show with the whole transhumanism thing. They're trying to merge the man and machine thing. So, yeah, man, it's
There,
just
there's a lot of stuff happening for
a lot of
sure.
stuff
A
going. Yeah.
massive awakening happening for sure, and we can sense it. It's very sensible what's happening, and a lot of us have went through a lot of either confusion or whatever awakening or whatever emotion in the last few years, because since we have not by it's not discovered, because the earth has always been here. It's just we've been blinded by too much darkness, blinded, not wanting to see the light, and staying in the dark. And this is what I think prevents most of us from questioning reality. But once we start questioning what surrounds us and where we are, what's the here and now, you start to realize a lot of stuff. Another thing that that's why I think about that, because the other song that I really like is Dreams and Reality. Dreams
Okay.
and
Yeah.
Reality.
Yeah. Basically, that song is just about me explaining my dreams, but telling you what my actual reality is. So that's like my first line is say, "All I want is peace. My blood's boiling. Satan's on my shoulder. Go and grab the nine and squeeze." And then I say, "I want ocean breeze, dreams of blue seas and tropical islands, but I'm stuck in the city with the blue lights and sirens." So I'm just showing you my dreams and reacting, like comparing them, and that's what that whole concept of that track is. And when I wrote that track, I remember I was in a very down place. Do you get what I mean? I was just it was just before I quit my job, and I was going through a lot of emotions. And again, it was just me talking to myself. That's what you do even when you write. You talk to yourself. You're writing your reflections down, and you can read it and learn from it. Do you get what I mean? It's like back then, like since I wrote that mixtape to now, in terms of like my spirituality, and I've developed so much more as a human being. Like in them times, I was still not a vegan. I was still used to eat meat and stuff. But since then, I don't eat meat, and I don't. So it's just a progression of who you are. By doing your art, it shows you who you are and how you've matured. And you can. I listen to my mixtape 100 times, like before I used to go sleep, and I used to. It's like talking to yourself, but not in a mad way, but just collecting your thoughts and putting the pieces to the puzzle and say, okay, I've got to go this way. I've got to go this way. So that's what that was all about, man.
Yeah, I know how it feels, because talking to yourself, the best conversation, or the most enlightening conversation you'll ever have is with yourself anyway. The most stuff that I found is by doing an introspection and going out and reflecting on my existence on my own, and making videos. And when I go make video, it's like I'm talking to myself. I come back here after I listen to it, and it's the same thing for you. It's the same thing for you when you do a song. It's like you're talking. Because there's one thing, we have a very, very good critics, which is us. Before we release something to the world, like a song or a video or whatever, you can be your own
definitely
judge,
and I'm
and
quite
that's
hard
it.
on myself like that. I'm very, very fussy. Like if something's out half a second, no, I'm quite a perfectionist, because my mixtape, I started recording it in 2014, but I didn't finish it till 2016 because, well, I wrote all my stuff quite quick, but all the tracks which I had features on, obviously some people were busy, they got jobs and stuff, so it weren't as easy as just come into the studio and do it. I had to wait a bit, but I don't know if you listen to my mixtape the whole way through, but
Yeah, listen to the whole thing.
Yeah, I tried to make it like it's all one thing rather than just every track leads onto each other. It's like a story, and with me, I'm quite visionary in when I'm doing something. I've got it in my mind, and for me to produce the physical of it, I have to do it properly. So I take my time on it. I must say that is one thing with me. I do take my time with things, but I rather take my time and give you the best product and rush it, and it's just shit.
But that's it. Sometimes things take timing. It's not always to rush things and to get to the finish line the first. And it's about putting also your art and love into it. You put your love in everything you do. And you're pretty much gonna get success in what you do. So that's what I see in your stuff. There's a lot. There's like 15 tracks, man, on that mixtape. I was like, wow. And it's available to listen to everybody on Bandcamp. You can go on the site and listen to it for free. I think that's what it is.
Yeah, you can listen to it, and you can also purchase it. It's only £3, but whatever. I'm not even fussed about it. I just want people to hear it, and that's it. Really, it's not about, because, like you said, if it was about the glitz and the glamour, I would have written about bitches and hoes and stuff, and people would have. Do you get what I mean? So
Yeah.
I just want the message to come out and people to wake up, and just not, when I say like wake up, just like don't believe everything you're told, basically.
Yeah.
Like, look at one view, look at another view, look at loads of views, then make your own conclusion. Do you get what I mean? You can still look at other people's views, but you don't necessarily have to agree with them. So all I would say to people is try and get a wider perspective of a subject or something you're looking into, so you can get the truth, just so you can satisfy your own well-being, and so you're at a peace of mind, basically.
Yeah, exactly.
This is why I'm searching for stuff as well, because I need. It's like I'm so I just want to know, like, I want to be enlightened.
But I think that's a good way. Also, me, I do it. I see it as a way a bit to release my trauma. We're all a bit under trauma. If we dive deep a bit into the illusion world and into what we where we live in. Like I thought the world was messed up, but I never thought it was that much messed up until I wake up. Just like you, when was your moment of? Because we all like can sense a bit of the illusion, but not enough to lift the curtain and say, okay, now I can see crystal clear in your madness, Babylon, and like I realize you're lying to me about everything and almost everything. And I don't want to say everything is lie because there's got to be some truth mixed with the lies for us to be able to process the lies. So it's not just lies all the way. There's a lot of people living the lie and stuff. Like this is evident. But what was your when was your moment? Your defining? Maybe we're gonna have to go back in time, probably. But what was your
Yeah, I would
defining?
say the first thing I watched something like um something like in terms of like Babylon and like the central bank and all that was Zeitgeist. I watched Zeitgeist where it spoke about how like they use astrotheology for the whole Jesus story, and then the second part was about 9/11, and then they talked about like the central banks and how they loan it to the government to get wars and they pay interest. And that I watched that, but I didn't really like, how can I say, I kind of just ignored it. And then in 2013 I was going through some personal struggles, some domestic problems here. I went to Amsterdam, like I said, had a little toke, and yeah, and that just opened my mind. And then after that, I come back and I started experimenting and writing, but I was watching things at the same time, and that was helping me write as well, and plus with my own stuff. And yeah, it was just, I would say 2013 November was the defining month of when I kind of started looking into things deeply.
That's
And
it.
then ever
Because
since then, basically, until this day, every day, man, I'm always researching stuff and just trying to be a better human being. Because, like you said, we can't go around preaching to people if we're not doing it ourselves. Do you get what I mean? So we have to try and practice what we preach, and not in a egotistical way, in a good way.
in a good way, not in an egotistic way, not in a way that me, I never gonna do this in a way to like to shove it down the throat of people and say, okay, this is, I have the truth and nothing but the truth, and I own the truth, and that's not it. It's more to just shine your light and let people feel your vibration, and they'll make sense of reality on their own. It's not gonna change anything anyway. The earth has always been here. It's always been pretty flat. Like I can't see any curve anywhere. I can't see any curvature. So it's just because we never question the things. Like to me, even the ball Earth, it makes sense that it's nonsense. But it's just because if some people don't see it, maybe they don't. It's something you have to feel also. Often I see and you I think it has to do with feeling also your world duty and your responsibility. What do you think about that?
Yeah, with the ball earth thing, Yannick, it was weird. Like, ever since I've started researching flat earth and stuff, and I thought back, and there was actually moments when I was younger and I was on my own, and I used to question things in my brain and think, how can this be like this? But then I used to say, oh, if the scientists are telling us, they must know better than me, so it just must be me thinking it. Do you get what I mean? So it's always been in me, but I just didn't trust my own intuition before. Whereas now, when you wake up, you trust your own intuition. Probably 8 out of 10 times, your intuition's always right.
Oh yeah, and we're put under either hypnosis, deep sleep, or something happened to us from birth. I think we're first of all born dead with life, for sure. It takes either something to wake you up, a tragedy, or some. Maybe you can wake up on your own if you have parents that are conscious like me. I tell the truth to my children. They're not gonna pick it up and bring the illusion back to their children. This morning I was watching things on Facebook. Sometimes you think that Rasta people are gonna be like the ones who are really like seeing through the curtain of illusion of Babylon, but not all the time. It's not because you don't fit in that you're instantly gonna see the amplitude of the programming we've been put under and the massive mind control that we're under. It's I see people bringing their children to like planetarium and stuff like that, like be impressed at the star stuff. Like it's all unproven stuff. It's very beautiful, very beautiful. Don't get me wrong. I used to buzz on that stuff when I was young, man. I used to love it. I used to wanted to be an astronaut. That was my dream when I was young. I had Star Wars all over my room, and that was a big thing. But now I realize, growing up and looking around, that where is that? Like it's all
Yeah.
fantasy.
Do you know what? The whole sci-fi thing, I would say, if I'm being honest, as a youngster, I never really got into it. Thank God. Maybe that's why I have the views I have now about the way the cosmos is and stuff. But yeah, obviously I watched like Star Wars, but I didn't watch it like properly. I know the characters and stuff, but only just through mainstream media, not because I've sat down and actually watched it. Do you get what I mean? So I've never really been into that whole sci-fi thing, but in terms of movies, but since I've started researching, like, the only thing I would say to anyone watching this who thinks the flat earth is ridiculous and stuff, I know it sounds ridiculous because we've been told a certain thing, but what I would say is, once you look at NASA and you bust the balloon of NASA and you see that they have corrupt origins, and the things they're posting are not actually photos but images, that composites that they've done you on their website. This is what I'm saying. They do tell us the truth, but we're so brainwashed we don't even think about it. Like, most people wouldn't know that NASA's actually origins come from the Nazis. But if you told them that, they'll say, "Oh no, it ain't." But you just got to do research. Do you know about the whole like Admiral Byrd thing, where he went to Antarctica to defeat the Nazis, and he went there, and obviously the Nazis defeated them, and because the Nazis had lost the war in general, but they didn't lose that battle. So what they did is they had an agreement. So they said, "We know you're building technology in South Pole. We need you to build spaceships and that." And the whole NASA origins, all their main scientists come from the Nazis, basically. If people knew this, they wouldn't.
But that's it. If people would know this, it's like if people would know uh, why the TV is there, they wouldn't use it. If they would know why our cell phone are made or what for, they wouldn't use it that much. Like they wouldn't be so addicted to it. Maybe, I don't know. Maybe they would be. But I think conscious people would not give out to temptation that easily. Anyway,
Also,
but
um, you know that the word NASA? Do you know the etymology behind it? Like what it actually means? It means to deceive in Hebrew.
yeah,
NASA.
I've seen that before.
Yeah. So that they use all these subtle things and the little like red snake lips on the sign, and
Yeah.
because it's just all occult Freemason stuff, and people are so blind. Like, just obviously, you're not going to understand it straight away. It takes time to research these things, and you just got to connect the dots. But trust me, man, once you just, all I would say to someone who doubts it or who's even interested in it, because some people don't give a shit, so they don't really care. But if you're genuinely interested in it, And I would say before you ridicule it, just look at, like, I would say a video to watch is Eric Dubé's 200 Proofs That We're Not on a Spinning Globe. It's a really easy video to follow, and it's got loads of picture images, real pictures, not CGI images, real pictures of this Earth, where we can say, yes, look, there is no curve. Or do you get what I mean? And like, it's just the way I do it now is, if a heliocentric person asks me, oh, you think the Earth is flat? I then switch it on him, and I say to him, okay then, so tell me how fast we're spinning, the Earth is spinning. They don't know. Tell me how fast we're supposed to be going around the sun. They don't even know their own model that they believe in.
Because
So, like,
if
people talk, but they don't even know. Do you get what I mean? I'm not claiming that I'm a Mr. Know-it-all, but I've dedicated hours and years of research into this. I wouldn't come out, and I'm not that crazy to come out and just say something. Like, do you get what I mean?
yeah,
But
in many parks, they have those spinning thing, these toys that you spin
yeah, the
around
roundabout, yeah.
with the barrier. Okay, they put you on that to show you. They put this in park, and especially like me, I've seen it. And you get on this, and you're gonna feel the speed of the thing turning. So
Of course.
if the Earth would be spinning, we would be feeling it. I'm on it. I can be on the ground, sitting my butt on the ground. So if it would be spinning, I would feel it. I would feel the speed motion of something. But the reason why also, like, I cannot sense the speed of a plane in the air because I'm not in the plane, I'm on the ground. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
it's that's easy to say that I cannot like they're going very, very fast in the
You
sky.
see it's moving though,
Huh?
can't you? You can still see it's moving, even though you can't see how fast. Your senses can tell you that it's moving, so you know it's moving.
It's
So you would
moving.
know if the Earth was spinning as well. Do you get what I mean?
That's it.
But
We would at least see something move around, like the clouds. I don't know, see some kind of motion. With no, everything is still and
brother,
everything
one
is.
way you can tell is if you look at the constellations. Yeah. So in me, when I look out my back garden now, I always see Orion near Taurus. Yeah. Every night when I look at Orion's belt, the three stars, they're always got the same gap because they're fixed stars. So they will always be in proportion. If we was traveling through space at, just say, they say we spin at 1,000, go around the sun at 67,000, and the sun's traveling at 666, which is a bit of a coincidental number as well, 1,000 miles an hour through the air. Then if we was traveling, then my view of them stars would be different every night because we would be in a different position. But I see them in the same position every single night, and there's no parallax, so there's no distortion. It's just the same thing. The stars are going around us. We're not going around them. Basically, that's the way you can. It's just it's so easy to see once you look into it, and like people who are into the globe and stuff, they'll say, "Oh, the ship goes over the horizon, so it's going over the curve." And then when you say, "Oh, how comes when you're in the air you can't see a curve?" They say it's too big. So, but you just told me that the ship goes over the curve. If you can see that, then you would definitely be able to see it while you're in the air. So it doesn't add up. Do you get what I'm saying? Their own things don't add up.
It don't add up, and the only parallax change that there is, it's in their theories and their stuff that they're feeding us. Because I remember when I was young, the sun used to be a still thing. It used to be still, and we used to revolve around the sun.
Yeah.
And now suddenly the sun has had a spark of energy or something, but he started to fly now through the universe. Now he's moving, he's shooting
Yeah.
through the immense universe, like he started to move. He had suddenly a reactor to it, or he has something, a thrust or something that push him through the space. Now he started to move. It's weird. They're changing everything all the time. It went from a round Earth, totally marble blue round Earth, to a pear shaped oblate spheroid with a chubby bottom.
It's brother, it's ridiculous. It
Like,
is.
how far are they gonna bring that joke? It's a freaking joke, and
Also, as well,
people are
brother,
not seeing it. It's like,
water, water. When have you? When in any? I would pay someone £1 million if they can show me in a real example water sticking to a ball, and while it's spinning and while it's going through the air at the same time. It's
exact.
impossible, brother. It's just, and like the whole gravity thing as well. Like they say, oh, because it sticks because everything is relative to the earth. So if everything is relative, then why can't I walk on the side of my house like Spider-Man? If everything's relative, then I should be able to walk on it and it will just be relative to me.
But
But do you get what I mean? So like it's not relative, it's just up is up and down is down.
yeah, but
It's,
there's something I question also is a lot, and that's something I'm gonna bring up to Pilot Alex next week. The clouds, okay, the clouds are massive thing. Sometimes it's
yeah,
very thick thing, and it's very heavy. Those clouds, there's water in there. Apparently, there's enough water in all the clouds over the earth if they poured all the water that they have in to
it
cover the whole earth two
flood the
inches thick. So these clouds have to be very, very heavy. So if the law of dense, like if you go, okay, but this is what I have problem with the clouds, the why they're not coming down. Like it should be like they're so heavy, why they're not coming down? And if you go with a, maybe someone in the chat will respond to that. But if you go with an airplane and you go on top of the clouds, let's
yeah,
just say, and
you
you do
feel
a
when proud, isn't it?
parachute dive stuff, you're gonna end up falling. You're gonna fall to the ground. So how come they? So how can the clouds like? It's just because it's water vapor. Like I don't know. There's maybe something I don't understand here. Maybe you can
Yeah.
help me.
Well, I don't know. With the clouds, from what I can remember, what they used to teach us at school was condensation by evaporation. So what that was like um, when it used to rain and the water would be on the earth, the sun would like heat it all up and then it would rise and go back into it was like a cycle basically. So, but brother, if you think about what was I going to say? I was going to say something about flat Earth. It was something to do with. Oh yeah, how can there be a flood? You know they said there was a great flood, like Noah's Ark and the Great Flood. How can there be a flood on a ball?
Hey, that's true too. How can there be a flood on the ball? Hey,
Because it would. It's
that's
just
a great one. People don't
off.
think about that.
It's what I'm saying. It's just it's. Oh man, and like the whole gravity thing as well. Like it's gravity, but that's just the easy answer to answer it to make your. The only reason why the whole theory of gravity has come in is because it answers anything. Oh, how comes water thing? Gravity. How comes this? Gravity. But how comes a helium balloon doesn't apply to gravity?
Yeah.
Because obviously it's not as dense as the air, so it goes up. Whereas the human body is denser than the air. This is why we stay on the ground. It's nothing to do with a force sucking us, like specifically. Obviously, what goes up must come down. Yes, I agree with that. But that's not because of gravity, that's because of density and buoyancy. Do you
Yeah.
get what I'm
And
saying? It's because we're
also,
heavier than the air.
if gravity is strong enough to hold all the waters of the earth, why, when I jump in the water, there's no more gravity, I float?
Exactly. But there's just too many things as well, brother. Like, as well, with the way, like the 6 months, they say there's 6 months daylight on the North Pole, 6 months around, well, not around the South Pole as much because the South Pole's a bigger circuit. But for anyone who doesn't know, there's different flat Earth theories at the moment, but the one I'll explain is the disc shape. the way it works is basically the sun is a spotlight and it's doing circuits around the earth, but it's going in like a cone shape. So in the winter time in the northern hemisphere, the sun is going in the outside of the earth, but as it comes in, it gets shorter and shorter and shorter and comes towards the center, which makes sense of why there's 6 months of daylight in the North Pole, because on a ball that wouldn't make sense, but obviously on a flat plane it's just doing a small circle, so it's in the same area. That's why it's 6 months daylight. Do you get what I'm saying? There's so many other things, but oh man, it's frustrating even talking about it. But like,
it's frustrating. It's frustrating because we feel we feel the pain, first of all, of other people being hypnosis, being stuck in that hypnosis, and we feel the come on, it's doesn't even make sense that people they were lied to on everything, man. We're lied to about everything, like we're bamboozled.
But I don't see why. And another one as well, which another thing which heliocentric people get wrong. People who do astronomy, yeah, they claim to see Venus at night, right? But if Venus is, you know, like on the heliocentric model, it's the sun, and then going around that is Mercury, and then going around that is Venus, and then going around that is supposedly the Earth. How could we see Venus at night if Venus is on the inside of the Earth's orbit? So Venus is always facing the Earth when it's daylight. So it would be impossible for us to see it in the sky with a... Do you get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Silly, easy things like that. So on a ball, we should not be able to see Venus because it's in the inside of the Earth's orbit, not on the outside. The outside of the Earth's orbit is night, and the inside is where it's facing supposedly the sun, and that's where Venus would be. So again, there's so many things, man, I could go into, but I can't remember them all off the top.
But this one is a great one. I've never heard really much of that one. It's a good one. That's why it's important that we share our observations like that, because you have stuff, like you have your own stuff that you know for sure that this is the truth. We feel it. The truth is something you feel. The truth is what it is. It's not very complicated. It's what it is.
It's also a lot of it's through words and etymology. If you think of planet, there's a couple of different explanations for that. Plane, hence a flat plane and an et, but there's also this. In ancient Egypt, the word for dome was net. And it's like, it's a D, but the other way round. So like how a dome would be going over the flat earth. So it's almost saying as well, it's a plane with a net going over it. That's another way that some people have looked at it. Do you get what I mean?
Yeah.
So a plane with a net, which would be the dome, if there is a dome, that is. See, I'm not claiming that there is. I'm just saying through the research and through etymology.
But
so
there's got to be.
Airplane. It's not an air curve. It's an air going over. We're in the air going over a plane. It's a horizon. It's horizontal. All these words tell you. They're telling you in the word, but we don't look at words. Like, I think etymology is a very interesting thing to study once you get into it. And if anyone's into that kind of stuff, I would say to watch the work of like Santos Bonacci and Jordan Maxwell, and the brother Stavila Elohim Ra. He's also got a good channel where he talks about etymology and numerology and stuff like that. So it's just, there's so many little bits, but once you combine it all, you'll see the picture.
But that's it. It's matching the dots and matching all this stuff together and connecting with people also, and putting the false pride away, and each one to each one. It's to realize that it's time to put the false pride aside and stop relying on the magician of Babylon. We must rely on each other. It's only with each other, with coming together, with uniting and you not uniting together at the same spot. We don't need to be all together. We need to be united in with our minds, our consciousness, in the way of doing good. Like I don't care what you do, as long as you do good. Like that's why I attract so many different people on my show
Yeah,
because
man.
I,
Like,
I want to connect with people that do good. I don't care what you do. If you do a rap or hip hop or rock and roll or whatever music, or you're a painter or you're doing good, I want to get in touch with you. You're working the consciousness and stuff. So
definitely, man. But yeah, like with like you see with the flat Earth thing, I looked into it. It's probably been like well since the end of 2015 to now. But I would say last couple of months I haven't looked into it as deeply because I think I've kind of come to the conclusion. I believe so that we're not on a spinning globe. So it's kind of there's no point in me researching it. I always research it. I'm on groups talking to people and stuff. But what I'm saying is there's no doubt in my head anymore. Where I was thinking, oh, maybe it's still a ball, or maybe it's don't take me wrong, and I still watch like I've watched Hollow Earth stuff, I've watched Concave Earth stuff, I've watched the geocentric where it's still a ball. I've watched them all. I've watched every single theory and model of what our Earth and universe might be, and what resonates with me the most is a flat geocentric Earth, and what I can see with my eyes. I'm not saying I know 100%, but like I said, your intuition 9 out of 10 doesn't lie.
it doesn't lie. Intuition doesn't lie, and we know that. It's just like me. I know that. Come on, it's something you feel. The truth is something you feel.
Definitely, man.
Oh yeah, no, it's something you feel. It's something you feel. It's if you don't feel it, if you don't like, if you, what do we have to do here? Live, love, and matter. To me, the moment I saw the world with open eyes, I said, I gotta do something. I gotta start creating something that can make a difference in other people's life, that can inspire others. So I started creating. But this is where also the shift in the awareness must take place, is stop focusing only on ourselves and bring that focus a bit on others and helping others and
Yeah, definitely.
actualizing ourselves here in the matrix while we're alive. Like we're in the system, the matrix is there for sure, it's in the mind of the people. But if we don't go forward with actualizing ourselves and creating a glitch like you're doing, like I'm doing, the humanity will always be in trance.
Yeah, we're not.
we
That's what.
are we are creating something very big. Even right now at the moment, this is changing the world.
Definitely, definitely. Like you got to, like you say, you got to practice what you preach, and you got to take some action and actually connect with people and talk with people. Like someone watching this might think, yeah, whatever. Like you're going on, like you're gonna try, but we're not. It's not to change the world in like one day. Obviously, that's not realistic. We're just doing it to try and influence people because, like we said before, the only way the world will change is if you change yourself. And then when you change yourself, you'll inspire someone else to change yourself. And then it will just be a knock-on effect. Do you get what I'm saying? Obviously, it's not going to happen in 2 weeks or even maybe 50 years. It's going to be a slow process. But yeah, man, it's just, for me, it's not always just about awakening people. It's just connecting with positive people who know the truth and who can um, kind of who you're on the same wavelength as, really. I mean,
It's good
at the
over evil. It's good over evil at the end.
yeah,
Are you doing good or are you doing evil?
exactly, brother. That's what I'm saying. What side are you on?
Yeah.
That's
What
it.
side you on? What size are you picking? Are you selling your soul or you're taking ownership of your life? That's what it comes down
Yeah,
to.
definitely.
I stopped selling my soul. It was enough.
Yeah, man. I mean, like you said in the show that where we did, obviously we're in the system. We're kind of stuck in it to a degree, but at the same time, so we have to abide by some of its ways. but we're gonna try and use it, not let it use us. Do you get what I'm saying? And that's the way we should be with all things, not just that with food, with drinking, with whatever. We just have to try and be balanced individuals. Do you get what I'm saying? So if you do want to work but still be spiritual, maybe you can just have a part-time job if you don't want to go out breaking your back. So you can still earn a living and still do your thing. It's just, again, it depends on the individual's life and their circumstance. Like with me, for argument's sake, I don't have kids, I don't have a partner, so I've got time to look into these kind of things and explore and try and find myself. Do you get what I'm saying? But
Yeah,
like other people got kids and wife, and
that's
got
what happened to me.
and they're stuck in the matrix. So at the end of the day, if they don't do it, they're going to be in the street. So I don't blame them for going out and working, and they're caught in a cycle where it's like, do you get what I mean? But again, it all depends on the individuals, where they are in their life and what their situation is, and that's all I would say. I wouldn't like. It all depends on you. If you're happy with what you're doing and you're feeding your kids and you're paying for your mortgage, you got a house over it, it's all good, man. But as long as you try and just do it in the most peaceful and positive way, that's all I would say to someone.
Exactly. As long as you don't create harm, this is what we gotta do. You know what is love? It's the absence of harm. So I think we have to stop. You know, everyone we're all returning home here. We're all returning home. The path or the trail that we're gonna take to return home is all individually on every level. It's up to us to manage that. So I think the most thing that we can do is come together and share our thoughts, and because this is what we're doing, it's either you do good or you do evil. So we're all returning home, remembering who we are. So let's do that in harmony and without division and without separation. There's enough. So the ones that that can see through. I like the term indigo child, indigo child, or I like that term a lot. And for us that can see through the illusion inside the matrix, inside this, because not everybody will. Okay, it's as much as it's not that hard to see through it. You just gotta want to question a bit, do a bit of research. Me, it started with Babylon and stuff, like I told you. But if you're willing to do a bit of research, everything's in plain sight. I can tell you all kinds of stuff, but it's all in plain sight. If you open your eyes, you'll see it too. It's not because we're inventing stuff here today. It's even the earth. The earth is it's in our face. Like, how much more do you want? You're sitting on it. Like, open your eyes, look around. You're gonna see the beauty of it. You're missing all the beauty. That's what's happening. People are missing the beauty.
Definitely, man.
But
at the same time, even if people don't understand us, we should not try and judge them, because we have to try and put ourselves in each other's position and maybe understand why that person's doing that thing. Do you get what I mean? Like, it's easy for us. It's easy for someone to say to me, "Oh, what you're doing is fucking bollocks," or it's bullshit. But you don't know why I'm doing it. Do you get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's because I've gone through something. This is why I'm searching for something. Or I can't say to you, "Oh, why are you working for someone paying tax to the thing?"
No.
But at the end of the day, I don't know your situation. You might, like I said, you got kids to feed and shit. So we're all on our own little journeys. But what we should do as humans is, instead of criticizing each other, is try and come to an understanding of each other. Rather than think, okay, I see why you're doing that. Do you get what I mean? Try and be a bit more tolerant of each other's views and ways of thinking. Do you get what I mean?
Yeah, but I wasn't aware of the how deep the programming. Like, when I realized that we weren't, like, realize I could have seen it before, but because it's not only the ball earth we're lied about pretty much everything. Everything is mind control. But what I mean is the mind control is very, very deep. So when you realize that, you're like, now you gotta show more compassion and love to people around. That's where my first reaction was like, whoa. When I found out about this, I first of all, I just saw it flattered, and that was it. Like I said, I pressed pause. I got up. I went to see my son, told him the good news, and I went to check the video, started to watch it. But I knew instantly. I knew instantly that this was it. This was the evidence. It wasn't the truth. It wasn't the truth. I know the truth was going to be much deeper than that after more seeking with myself, but it was the evidence. It's the evidence of something. It's the evidence that we're lied to and we're very, very powerful. So after that, how do you go back home and which journey you take and how you take it and what, it's all up to us to do it in harmony and love and compassion and show gratitude and for the gift of life, and try to do something with it. It's short. It's short. The worst is it's short. It's not very long. It's not like we have 2-3 life. You have one.
Yeah.
One half of it, me, is gone. Half is gone. It's gone. It's gone, bro. I have the other half. What do you think I'm gonna do? Sit on my earth? Come on.
Yeah, man.
I'm going to do the rest of my life, the best of my life, man, to the maximum I can give without necessarily having expectation, but by giving the max I can every time I come on YouTube or every time I'm with my children, teaching them about something, or, it's just in every moment being present.
Yeah, definitely. It's like with me as well, like, it's just when I started researching, it was like at first I pushed the door a bit open and I could see through it a bit. Then I pushed it a bit more open, halfway open, when I was watching certain things. But then when I watched Santos for the first time, he kicked the door down basically, and it was just bang. It was just all in front of me. When I remember I was watching something and I typed in Procession of the Equinox, and then his video come up, like first video, and I watched it and I was like, literally by the time the video was finished, my mouth was like, I was like gobsmacked. He just made everything so clear. And like, it was, once I started watching his videos, I would say that he kind of give me that extra push to go harder and research. I think it was through him again that I see the flat Earth, because I was following him, and his post come on my page, and I watched it, and like I told you before, I just watched it, and I thought it wasn't that much of a it wasn't that much of a shock to me at first, because I thought, bloody hell, this makes sense. Stuff that shocked me more was once I started finding out about NASA lying and doing Photoshop images and this and that. That's when I thought, oh my God, now I can see what's been going.
Yeah, now you can see the kind of hypnosis we're under and the kind of massive manipulation. It's terrible. It's terrible what they do to people. And, it's because they make fun of us over that, when they go inside that international swimming station, it's all nonsense. It's all nonsense. Look at it. I never seen something. I want to look at it and find something that's real, something that's hold the road, or something an experiment that would advance humanity or some. No, it's only nonsense. So just that, everybody should be like, hey, that's where our money go to do like flips and talk with funny hairs and play music and.
Did you see the last one they was in, where it was? Is it the Super Bowl, the American thing, where it's a Super Bowl is the American football, isn't it?
Yeah.
And they was in the International Space Station supposedly, and they both had T-shirts on with 51. But the 51, if you turn it around, is ISIS 1515, and like you said, they make fun of us in front of our own face, and we don't even realise. But it's until you start looking into things and you think, oh my god.
Then you just unplug. You come to a point where you unplug. You can see the madness anymore. You can turn on the TV. You can do nothing. I can't turn on the TV anymore. I'm sorry. I can't. It's all madness. It's pure. I go to my mother and she has the TV on and I just pass in front and I'm like, I go in trance right away. I go in trance in front of the TV. I'm telling you. And I don't like watching TV, but I get hypnosis. I get like, I am absorbed by it. Suddenly, I'm starting to like it again. It's bad, man. The vibrations. Like, there's something coming out that TV, man. Some kind of waves manipulation or something. Because I don't watch TV, but then I pass in front and I am like, hey, whoa. So,
do you know what's even worse? Like when you watch TV, you know, like to say you have a J or you have a hit, and your senses are more. Like you're more awakened. You actually make it makes you cringe when you watch it because you can feel the fakeness and the like Babylon. You can feel that Babylon presence coming through. It's just like you said, it's horrible, man. It's just, especially the news, man. That's something I don't watch at all now. Because it's like someone's hitting a hammer on my head because I know it's bullshit.
And it's only negative stuff. You know, when have you ever watched the news and look at your significant others and feel good about the world? It's like, hello. I always felt bad. I always felt like humanity was on the verge of collapsing, and now I don't feel like it. You know, now also once you unplug from this, it's because it's your whole world that changed also. Now you don't always suddenly see bad in everybody, but you see good in everybody, and you start creating good, and you start seeing light, and that's what people don't like. What Bob Marley said, when you see the light, people will fight you down when you see the light. For sure. But that's what I've seen. That's what you've seen. That's what many of us have seen here in the chat today, and many people on YouTube have seen the light. And for sure, there will be parasites and hypocrites that's going to come up and want to take a bite. They're always around. But we don't care about these people. We're here to change the course of humanity. We're here
I've actually got, you see where you say we don't care about them, we're just doing our own thing. I've actually written a song where that's in my chorus, that's one of my hooks. I say, there's devils out here that's hating. There's devils out here that's snaking. There's devils out here that's faking. But fuck all that, I'm on my meditation. So, do you get what I'm saying? Like, it's out there, but fuck that shit, man. Because if you spend your energy worrying about that, it's gonna drag you down. You just do you and try and bring the energy up, and then the rest of the energy. So it's just whatever energy you put out in this world, that's what you'll get back. And that's
exactly.
It's simple. It's not rocket. Excuse the pun. It's not rocket science. Do you get what I'm saying?
Yeah, but I like the expression. It's not rocket science. I still use it. I still use it very often. It's not rocket science. That's what I say to my children sometimes.
But I don't want to dwell on the flat Earth subject too much. But just to add one more thing to that is. Basically, what was I going to say, man? I've just
flat Earth you were talking about.
Flat Earth,
you wanted to add something.
NASA, that's it. Basically, you see, like, we pay all this money to NASA, and they supposedly go to space and go and see if Mars and. In which way has that benefited our Earth? By them going to space or sending a rocket up? What relevance or what benefit does that have to where we live? It doesn't have no relevance at all. Who gives a shit about Mars? We don't live on Mars. We live here.
Exactly.
We've got to be worrying about what's here. Do you get what I'm saying?
Yeah. Even if it's real. Even if it's real, like, who gives a shit what's going on Mars? It's the fucking bordel in here.
Do you get what I mean? Like, it's not. Personally, I don't think it is real, but like you said, even if it was, So fucking what, man? Let's just get on with our own lives here, man. And who gives a shit about Mars and Pluto and Saturn and whatever? If they're not terrestrial bodies anyway, they're wandering stars. All the ancients knew this, and it's not even just, you know, they say as above, so below. It's even like with all the chakras, like the 7 chakras represents the 7 planets we see with our physical eye. Do you get what I'm saying? It's just, it's all, you're a universe within yourself. Do you get what I'm saying? Each of us is a universe with chakras and planets and the zodiacs within us. Obviously, people have watched like Santos Bonacci tells you like you got Aries and then Taurus and then Gemini, the 2 hands, and then you got Cancer and then Leo, and Pisces is the 2 fish. Once you look into it, it's mesmerizing stuff, man.
Oh, Santos is very knowledgeable. I like having Santos on a lot, and
that's how I got to see your show first when you did a show with him.
Yeah, he's gonna be back on this weekend. I just talked to him this morning. We text each other, and he said, "Yeah, he's okay for next weekend." We had the software issue or communication or connection problem, but it got solved, and finally Santos is back for Saturday Night Live. But yeah, that's it. Yeah, for sure. No, and it's a great moment to learn a lot. Like Santos has a lot. But also, it's what I like about Santos. What I like to do with him is, like I said, nothing is really scripted. So we come on, and I can present him any kind of question, and he's gonna answer to me with the knowledge that he has. Like, you know, and I ask him very simple question. Like, I don't go into I am who I am. No, he's gonna get from what comes out from me. I don't pretend to be anybody else but me. So he's getting what comes out of me, and sometimes it comes out the way it come out. So sometimes, and I have a lot to exchange with him, and he's always very he's always on point on everything, and he finds a good explanation and a good.
You know, when I watch him, and like he's just got all this knowledge in his brain. I think, how does he remember all this stuff? It's like me. I sometimes with me, I look at so many things that I forget, and I have to go back to it just to like recap on it. But the guy is just—he's like a machine gun, man. He's just like, bah, 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 bah. It's just. I don't mean to like keep going on about him, but he's been a big influence in my awakening. So I've got to give him credit where it's due. Do you get what I'm saying? So it's not like me trying to be a groupie, but at the same time, to me, the guy is. I'm on, like, how can I say? I really resonate with what he's saying. It just makes so much sense.
Not only that, is because everybody that pretty much get on YouTube starts to look for truth outside of yourself. That's pretty much where you start. You want to know where you are and what you've been lied to about, and what's the truth about the stars, the sun, the moon, and you know what surrounds you. Suddenly, you want to know. You want to know stuff. It's normal. I wanted to know too, for sure. That's where I went to seek, and I went to look at all the videos of Santos. I watched all his presentations and stuff. So when he came on my show, it was such a great honor, man. At the first show I did with him, I was like ecstatic, but I was freaking out, man. I went, come on, I am just a regular guy here doing a Tru-Mon show, and I ended up hanging out with Santos Bonacci from Australia from one day to another live on YouTube. I was freaking out. So, you know, when I tell you it's living the dream, it's because of taking action. That's where it brought me. And look, today I'm pretty much every week live with him on YouTube, like, because our vibes match also. We get along, and we just, like, it's a natural match. Santos and me, it's a natural match, I find. It's just, nothing is forced, nothing is we don't extensively communicate together either. It's just nothing script. It's just very natural what you get, and it's live, so it's nothing edited or nothing. So this is what I love about this situation with in the show with Santos. It's very very inspiring. And even me, sometimes I look at it, and that has to do. It's never about where you come from. It's about how far you have come, and
Yeah.
you can witness that too. It's not about where you're from or anything like that. Like, yeah, I come from a little town called Trois-Rivières in Quebec. But that doesn't mean there's never been anybody really talking about flat Earth from Trois-Rivières, Quebec, or stuff truth, but that doesn't mean I cannot do it or I cannot start,
Each
coming.
right, isn't it?
But that's it. So
Everyone's on a path.
it's not about where you're from. It's about how far you're gonna take it, how far you're willing to go past your fears, past your limitation that you put to yourself, because it's all self-imposed limitation and fears that are not real and stuff that we think it's real and never happen. Most of the fear you have in life will never happen. Never happen. Never. Most of the fears and still today, I get cut, and sometimes I think of stuff, and I'm like, I hope it doesn't happen this way or some stuff, and it just doesn't happen. It's like I should just stop worry and think about it. But it's just sometimes we get so caught up in our thinking and this is where also we get taken out of reality a lot, is when we start thinking a lot.
Yeah, definitely. Well, taken out of the system, because it's weird. I see it like not two different realities. But you've got your reality where you've got to get up and go to work and do this, and but then also you've got your own other reality where you're not concentrating on the system. You're just concentrating on helping yourself, on looking into things. So it's just, again, having the balance of the two, man, so you can be a happy all-rounder. Do you get what I'm saying? Because at the end of the day, although we like to be spiritual, we live in a material world, so we're going to have to participate in that as well. But obviously, just not too much. And
exactly. It's to find a balance. You need some kind of material. I wouldn't be able to do that show if I wouldn't have that laptop, my lamp, my house, we need a bit of material, but it's not to get lost in there and say that it's everything in your life. Like I became happy not because of a laptop or a lamp or this. I became happy because of the person I became and what I'm able to do with my life and create and get people together to feel good. It's about feeling good. It's about uplifting each other and feeling good about life. That's all the heck it is.
Man, like, just wake up and honestly, like, like before, you're saying thinking, like, you think about fears and stuff. Like, sometimes, like, before I used to say, yeah, by this year I'm gonna do this, and I used to settle, and then when it don't happen, you get depressed. So the way I don't take each day as it comes. Obviously, if I know I've got to do something in 3 weeks, I know. But what I'm saying, I don't plan too far ahead, because you don't know what's around the corner. I just wake up every day and I'm happy that I'm breathing, man. I got food to eat and I got a shelter, man, and I feel blessed.
Thanks.
You get
Give
what I'm
thanks
saying?
for the little things.
All that fucking live on the street, man, and
yeah.
Like, I'm in a house and that. Why should I be depressed? There's no reason for me to be depressed. You get what I mean? Just like, but obviously, when you get, the reason you do get depressed is because you spend too much of your energy. You give too much of your energy to other people, basically. So again, we're not saying don't give energy to other people. You have to, because if you don't, that means you're selfish. But you have to have a limit where if someone ask you something and you genuinely can't do it, don't feel bad. Just say, look, listen, I'm sorry, I can't do it. It's not because I don't want to help you. I've just got other priorities to do. If I get that done, I'll try and help you. Do you get what I'm saying? You got to handle your business before your business handles you, basically. I don't know if you know that saying. That's for Exhibit, a rapper. He's got a song, handle your business before your business handles you. And that don't mean business as in work. It just means it could be your mental, your mind state. It could be anything. Just be on top, be organized and be on top of it, and otherwise you won't come across no hiccups, basically.
Yeah. To me, why people are depressed, we were talking about people being depressed in society. It comes a lot also, I think, in my point of view, with we can't get enough of what we don't want. we're constantly bombarded with nonsense, and we don't want that. We don't want that. We're manipulated, controlled mind, and everything, but we can't get enough of what we don't want. It's constant bombardment from everywhere to for us to make.
Definitely. Like even like they with the music and stuff, and like there's a certain image that you have to live up to basically, and if you can't live up to that image, or you don't have the funds to do them certain things, then you feel like you're not worthy of being in society. Or but it's all bullshit anyway. Like for argument's sake, like someone could say to me, yeah, I got Ferraris 50 grand or whatever. I say fair enough, good on you, but like I got a car that's £1,000 and it does the same thing as yours. I can go from A to B. So fucking what if it's a like you like? Do you get what I mean? Like people are trying to look good rather than just do what they got to do. Do you get what I'm saying? It doesn't matter, bruv. Even if it's a car with 3 wheels, whatever. If that car helps you do your thing, then it doesn't matter what it looks like. Do you get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So just that. This is the thing. Like we're sold a dream, and when we can't get that dream, we get depressed and we turn to alcohol or drugs or comfort eating or whatever. Sleeping with, going to pay for sex, all sorts of things, just because you want to get that material, you lusting, because it's in your face so much. When you don't get it, you need it. Do you get what I mean?
Yeah, and people go get external pleasure and stuff like that also because we're very much misaligned with our true nature, our true essence and natural essence of what we were from the beginning. You know, we're very, very much under trauma. My trauma is dissolving as slowly, little by little. My trauma is dissolving, but my trauma is dissolving. It's okay, but doesn't do nothing if the trauma in the whole is not dissolving. So that's why I'm here and I keep pushing and pushing and pushing, and I'll push until I have no more breath going through my nostril. You'll still see me here when I'm all white because I'll keep pushing until then. And no, for sure, come on, that's a life thing. It's a life commitment. It's a life. The moment you see come on, I'm part of something that's much bigger than me. But sometimes we get trapped in our little me, and thinking that this is all there is. And if I cannot, I have to ask permission to contribute to the world, and I don't really feel like I belong. Maybe it's up to other people to take responsibility and not me. So no, enough. Enough. It's time to take responsibility. You're an adult. It's for a reason. It's to take responsibility. That's what I think.
But. Yeah, definitely. Also, as well, like it's not about, like you said, about judging. Like you were talking about judging people as well. Because me, like I say, I'm vegan and I've stopped this and that, but I'm not perfect. I've still got loads of habits, old habits that I'm trying to get rid of. Like you said, it's a bit slow. It's a slow process, but I've still got stuff. Demons from the past that I'm still trying to get rid of. We're not Supermen. We can't do it all in one day. We just have to take it like day by day. And even if it's like as well, another thing I don't want people to misunderstand. Just because I don't eat meat now and I'm trying to be more spiritual and stuff, I don't look down at people who do eat meat. Do you get what I mean? Because I used to as well, and I understand why. But probably 8 out of 10 or 7 out of 10 people just probably forget that it's even meat. They just see it as food because it's been so just in your diet from when you were young. It's just normal. Do you get what I mean? Like people are probably not doing it intentionally, but it's the people that get defensive about it, which I get annoyed about, and they try and question you, why are you doing it? Does it matter? Like people say something stupid like, "Oh, but plants are life as well. You kill them." But that's a total different thing. Exactly. You eat life so you can sustain your life. You don't eat death. that's not going to give you
Exact.
no nutrients. Do you get what I'm saying?
Very good point.
It's common sense, man. Life gives you life, death gives you death. End of. It's just like as well. This morning, unfortunately, I woke up to some bad news of another relative passing away from cancer, and there's so many people that I know, or like family members or friends of family. It's just this disgusting thing that they've somehow managed to get into society, and it's poisoning us. And this is another thing I'm so annoyed when I say, oh, when are they going to find a cure for it? It's like, oh, it's like someone smashing a hammer on my head, brother, man. Like, there's cures out there, man. We just got to.
There's cures and there's
And
prevention we
even
can
like,
do.
you know, like sometimes I mention like marijuana or whatever, but even without marijuana, there's cures. You just got to eat natural food, man. Because even like bananas and onions and
Yeah,
they've all got
garlic. Put garlic in, honey.
in it anyway.
You know what my wife does recently? She's taking garlic and she's squeezing the garlic inside the honey, and she makes me drink. She makes me eat that raw on an empty stomach in the morning.
Wow. Yeah. See,
but it's very good for inflammation, very good for my knee, for my varicose vein, for everything, a lot of stuff.
Yeah, I've been squeezing a lot of lime juice in my water to alkalize the water. I saw.
Stay alkaline.
Did you see that experiment on Facebook where a guy got a cup of water and he put these electrical wires in there, and the light, and they were connected to two lights, and he put it in the water where it had a low pH, but when he was squeezed the lime juice in the water, it made the lights come on. So it just shows you how when you put in that in your body, it's giving you electricity and life. It's giving you life.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying? And when I thing, I was like, wow, it like pumped me up, and I went to the store,
that's
bought
interesting.
loads of limes, and I use it a lot in my food and stuff like that. And another thing with me becoming vegan as well has helped me get in the kitchen and experiment. I love cooking and stuff like that. So that's another thing. Like,
yeah, that's it.
I've kind of got a plan that I want to, not straight away. I would love to maybe in the future. You know that when you get in a market, you got a street market, maybe have a vegan store, and I'm learning to cook, and yeah, I've got ideas. Do you get what I mean in my head? That's what I'm saying. Doing this kind of stuff, it sparks off new things in your head, and
that's
something I want to work towards in the future. If I can save up and stuff, and
because the only thing you can show is in anything, in any truth, whether it's food or fake space or whatever you want, all you can do is show the door to people, and they have to enter for themselves. So if you have the will to eat better, to have better eating habits, and you have a passion for cooking and you love cooking and you want to transfer that to other people, well, start a restaurant and start to cook healthy and make people see that then they're going to pick it up. They're going to say, hey, they're eating healthy. Maybe that's the way. But even that, we don't question it. Comes from generation to generation. Our mother and father gave us meat in our plate, and it was normal to totally dissociate ourselves with the sentient being in our plate. That it was not an animal; it was just meat.
Yeah, it's just food, isn't it?
Just meat, food. It's just meat, and without realizing the old blood rituals and satanic ritual behind it that were performing for them. It's like once I became conscious of that, I'm like, whoa, game over. This is where it ends. Now all animal product is gone, and now I can't give in to this anymore.
Yeah, likewise, bro. It's like as well, like when they say when you eat meat as well, it gives you more of a like. No, there's nothing wrong with animals. I love animals. I've got a pet dog. He's like my baby. I love him. But what I'm saying is they say like when you eat flesh and blood, it makes you more warlike or more because you got the blood mixing with you. You're not at your pure essence. Do you get what I'm saying? So you got a corrupted way of seeing things, or you're very materialistic. Like before, like me, I used to do certain, like before I would do certain things straight away. Now, don't take me wrong, I'm still not perfect, but I'm better at, like, just an example. You see a nice lady on the road, for argument's sake, you'd start thinking all like dirty things or whatever. But that's because it was pushed in your face so much. It was almost bred inside of you. Do you get what I mean? But now I try to think, oh man, it's just another human being, man. Like, I admire her for her beauty in a different way rather than in a sexual way. Do you get what I mean?
Yeah.
But still, obviously, we're still learning and developing every day. So there might be days where we're not perfect, but that's just human nature, man.
That's it. That's it. That's it. It's the part of the growing process. It's not about, we are perfect, but we have an imperfected soul, and that's what we're trying each and every day to get more towards the perfection. But it's I think it's just improvement. Will we ever? My goal is not to reach perfection anyway. I would like to improve. So it's
Yeah,
improvement
likewise,
and
definitely.
working on yourself and bringing the best that you can give, that you can without crossing the line into arrogance and becoming arrogant with your skills or with your confidence or whatever. There's a thin line in between. Thin line in between confidence and arrogance. So it's very important to respect also. Respect people and respect nature and respect and create an alignment with nature, like many people are doing. I think it's not that hard once you change your mindset. Change your mindset. It's to reset the mindset. This is what humanity needs to have their mindset. We need to reset the mindset.
Yeah, I mean, it's like, I think many people actually know, but they're actually kind of maybe afraid to make that step, or like we spoke about in the other show, where so many people are comfortable in their bubble, they don't want to burst it and like, explore outside and see what else was going on. But to me, that's how exciting is that, to just to find new things and get new new experiences and new inspirations. And like, to me, like, I get turned on by that in a way that where that's what I get turned on by these days, by getting knowledge and by empowering myself, not to be have power over other people, to empower myself to become a better person and to share that with everyone. Do you get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because it's not about, well, like we say, it's a bit of a tricky situation. Sometimes you're so enthusiastic, you start telling everyone, "Oh, I found this out and I found this out." And some people, they're not ready. They're like, "Oh, go away, man! I don't give a shit," or whatever. So I talk more mainly to people who I'm really close with, who I know I can get my message across to, and they'll might listen. But at the same time, I I I have been speaking my mind a lot more to strangers as well. So if I see something that's not wrong, I won't ignore it. I'll stand up and say, no, it's not like that. It's like this.
Yeah, for sure. But I mean, me also, what I do, like when I don't open up to just anybody about the stuff I
Same.
know, and because I know how deep we are programmed, and I know people will either not necessarily ridicule you,
Yeah.
but they will not make sense of it. They will not make sense of
Yeah.
it and take it enough to take it to another level, or to say, oh, I'm going to take this information and do something with my life now. So very, very often you're going to put life energy into something, into trying to wake up another person, where you're going to probably just waste your time if they're not ready for the experience. Forget about it. So to try to the truth is for those who seek it. If you're willing to know the truth and to live the truth, you're gonna seek it. You're gonna get up, stand up, and live your dreams and live the best that you can give every moment of your life. Like I do my things, other people do their things, but this is how we build the dream of life. We're in a dream here, the dream of the creator. It must be we must start to build it somewhere. It's we have built a lot so far. We have built a mega thing, but it's mostly it's a very material world. So it's to return home to our true nature, to our loving state, and we are pure love, pure consciousness, pure by consciousness. Yeah, consciousness. Yeah, we can use that word. Yeah. So my bro, that was a pleasure to have you on the Tru-Mon show. I think we
Likewise.
can close it like that. It was a great vibe. I loved it. I'm always very feel blessed and highly favored to be able to exchange with people like you and other great minds of this world. It's what we have to do: come together and make it work. Sit down, talk, and make it work. Like
Definitely.
we don't know each other extensively, but we're capable to sit down and talk and make it work. We both have love in our heart,
That's
like
it.
many others here today in the chat, and like it's full of love. It's like there's at one point there was like 16 viewers live and all kinds of good vibrations. And me, I thank everybody in the chat also. No, I read pretty much all of your comments as they come in pretty much, but I try to keep my eye on the chat, keep my eye on focus on my guests. But I try to manage both. But there was a lots of love in the chat. I seen a lot of great comments. Great job. Lots of people. The awakening is here. Yeah, the awakening received his wrench today. He says during the time we were thinking, he said, Janik, wrench me. So I got it. I put him a wrench. I said, okay, you want a wrench? I'll give you a wrench because they come with a little key. There's a little blue key on your. But anyway, I don't care. I can give a wrench to anybody in there. We're all leaders. That's what we have to become. All leaders in the house of the rising sun. So once we all become leaders, and this is what I want. I don't want the followers, and I want leaders. I want lions. I want lions and lioness, and people that can roar. At Babylon, and really, it's the best moment to be alive. Let's enjoy life. Let's give thanks for life. So thank you very much, my brother. Thank you very much. My bro Flatter Tallen even is here this afternoon. Big up, bro. And Faz Leon, The Awakening, Rockin, Ivar, Vendedic, Wombra. There's a lot of people there. Wow. Jay Saran. I can give a shout out to everybody, but the list is long. H. Drew was there. I see before. Rud. There's so many people, so much love. It's overwhelming. It's overwhelming. It's good. Feels good. Feels good. That's what it's all about. Many times I'm sure people won't probably remember what we've said too much, but they're going to remember that we make them feel good, and this is what is important. And the whole thing is about us. It's about love. It's about just come here with love and sharing it, our inspiration. So thank you very much, Mehmet. And I'll put more link in the description. I already did, but I'll redo the thing that's due to our
Yeah, just
link.
before I go, I just want to say a big thank you to yourself as well. Like I said before, you've been one of my inspirations of me doing my own show on the YouTube, which is Conscious Minds TV for people that want to check it out. My latest interview was with the man himself, Yannick, and we spoke about consciousness, transhumanism, flat earth, and the whole reggae movement. So if anyone wants to check that out, go to Conscious Minds TV. But also I've got other shows on flat earth, the occult knowledge of the Bible, Santa Claus and Jesus, astrology, human design and gene keys. I just want to give a quick few shout outs. I want to say hello and thank yous to my sisters, Tanya Hadziva, Marqueen, Summershine, and also my brothers, Flat Earth Dan, Stability, Elohim Ra, and everyone else who follows my work and who I interact with within the conscious community. A big thank you to everyone, and you've all been a great inspiration. And all the people who know me personally know who's inspired me and who hasn't. So, but yeah, I just want to thank you one more time. I really feel privileged to be on your show.
It's my pleasure, and we're such a wonderful people. Let's stay away from Babylon evil stuff.
Definitely.
Let's
man.
rise and shine, eh? Let's
Rise
finish
and shine.
let's finish that on a rise and shine. The people. Peace. We're out.